Question 1. What year did the Roman conquest of Britain begin? A. 43 AD. B. 1066 AD. C. 1215 AD. D. 1588 AD. Answer A. 43 AD. The Roman conquest of Britain began in 43 AD under Emperor Claudius, marking the start of Roman rule over much of the British Isles. Question 2. Who was the first Anglo-Saxon king to convert to Christianity? A. King Offa. B. King Alfred the Great. C. King Ethelbert of Kent. D. King Harold II. Answer C. King Ethelbert of Kent. King Ethelbert of Kent was the first Anglo-Saxon king to convert to Christianity around 601 AD, significantly influencing the religious landscape of medieval England. Question 3. What was the primary purpose of the Domesday Book, compiled in 1086? A. To record a census of the population. B. To assess and tax property holdings for military funding. C. To establish a system of laws. D. To catalogue the flora and fauna of England. Answer B. To assess and tax property holdings for military funding. The Domesday Book was compiled on the orders of King William the Conqueror to assess land holdings and resources for taxation and to fund military defences. Question 4. Who signed the Magna Carta and where? A. King Henry VIII at Westminster. B. King John at Runnymede. C. Queen Elizabeth I at Greenwich. D. King Richard III at Bosworth Field. Answer B. King John at Runnymede. The Magna Carta was signed by King John in 1215 at Runnymede, a document establishing foundational legal principles, limiting the king's power and ensuring certain rights. Question 5. Describe the main conflict that led to the Wars of the Roses. A. A dispute over religious differences. B. A dynastic war over the English throne between the houses of Lancaster and York. C. A conflict between England and France. D. A rebellion against monarchy taxation. Answer B. A dynastic war over the English throne between the houses of Lancaster and York. The Wars of the Roses, 1455 to 1487, were primarily a series of dynastic conflicts between the descendants of Edward III, represented by the rival houses of Lancaster and York. Question 6. What were the key outcomes of the English Reformation in the 16th century? A. The consolidation of absolute monarchy. B. The separation of the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church. C. The establishment of parliamentary democracy. D. The unification of Scotland and England. Answer B. The separation of the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church. Initiated by King Henry VIII, the English Reformation led to the creation of the Church of England, separate from papal authority. Question 7. Who succeeded Queen Elizabeth I to the throne of England? A. Mary I. B. James I. C. Elizabeth II. D. Charles II. Answer B. James I. James I of England, also known as James VI of Scotland, succeeded Queen Elizabeth I in 1603, uniting the crowns of England and Scotland. Question 8. What significant naval battle did England win against Spain in 1588? A. The Battle of Hastings. B. The Battle of Trafalgar. C. The Battle of Agincourt. D. The Battle of the Spanish Armada. Answer: D. The Battle of the Spanish Armada. In 1588, England defeated the Spanish Armada, a pivotal moment in naval warfare that marked the rise of England as a global naval power. Question 9. What were the main causes of the English Civil War in the 1640s? A. Economic disparities. B. Religious disputes between Catholics and Protestants. C. Political power struggles between the monarchy and Parliament. D. Territorial disputes with Scotland. Answer: C. Political power struggles between the monarchy and Parliament. The English Civil War was largely fueled by ongoing conflicts over governance and authority between King Charles I and Parliament. Question 10. What event restored monarchy in England after the Commonwealth period? A. The Glorious Revolution. B. The restoration of Charles II in 1660. C. The Act of Union. D. The signing of the Treaty of Paris. Answer: B. The restoration of Charles II in 1660. After the Commonwealth period under Oliver Cromwell, the monarchy was restored when Charles II was invited back to England to reclaim the throne. Question 11. What was the Glorious Revolution, and why was it significant? A. The overthrow of James II by William I and Mary II, leading to constitutional monarchy. B. The establishment of the Church of England. C. The military conquest of Wales. D. The signing of the Magna Carta. Answer: A. The overthrow of James II by William I and Mary II, leading to constitutional monarchy. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 established the precedence of parliamentary rule over monarchy and led to the Bill of Rights 1689. Question 12. Which treaty, signed in 1707, resulted in the creation of Great Britain? A. The Treaty of Paris. B. The Treaty of Westphalia. C. The Acts of Union. D. The Treaty of Utrecht. Answer: C. The Acts of Union. The Acts of Union 1707 united the kingdoms of England and Scotland into a single sovereign state known as Great Britain. Question 13. Who was Britain's first Prime Minister? A. Oliver Cromwell. B. Sir Robert Walpole. C. William Pitt the Elder. D. Benjamin Disraeli. Answer: B. Sir Robert Walpole. Often regarded as the de facto first Prime Minister, Sir Robert Walpole served in the early 18th century under King George I and II. Question 14. What global conflict was Britain involved in from 1756 to 1763? A. The 100 Years' War. B. The War of the Roses. C. The 7 Years' War. D. The Napoleonic Wars. Answer C. The 7 Years' War, known globally as the 7 Years' War. This conflict saw Britain fighting against France and its allies, affecting Europe, North America, and India. Question 15. What was the main reason for the American colonies' declaration of independence from Britain? A. Religious freedom. B. Disputes over the legitimacy of the monarchy. C. Taxation without representation. D. Demand for language rights. Answer C. Taxation without representation. The slogan encapsulates the primary grievances of the American colonies against British taxation policies, leading to the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Question 16. Describe the impact of the Industrial Revolution on British society. A. It led to a decrease in urban population. B. It triggered a shift from agrarian to industrial economies, transforming social and economic structures. C. It minimized technological advancements. D. It reduced the workforce in manufacturing. Answer B. It triggered a shift from agrarian to industrial economies, transforming social and economic structures. The Industrial Revolution began in the late 18th century and fundamentally changed the way people worked and lived, with significant social, economic, and cultural impacts. Question 17. Who was the British monarch during the Napoleonic Wars? A. Elizabeth I. B. George III. C. Victoria. D. Henry VIII. Answer B. George III. King George III was the British monarch during the Napoleonic Wars, a period marked by conflict between Britain and Napoleonic France. Question 18. What was the significance of the Battle of Waterloo in 1815? A. It ended the Viking invasions. B. It resulted in Napoleon Bonaparte's final defeat, ending his rule and the Napoleonic Wars. C. It began the English Civil War. D. It marked the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Answer B. It resulted in Napoleon Bonaparte's final defeat, ending his rule and the Napoleonic Wars. The Battle of Waterloo was a decisive battle that significantly impacted European history. Question 19. What social reform did the Great Reform Act of 1832 achieve? A. It abolished the monarchy. B. It extended the right to vote, reducing the power of the aristocracy. C. It ended the Industrial Revolution. D. It established public education. Answer B. It extended the right to vote, reducing the power of the aristocracy. The Great Reform Act of 1832 reformed the British electoral system by widening the voting franchise and addressing the representation disparities. Question 20. Who was the British monarch during the Victorian era? A. George VI. B. Edward VII. C. Elizabeth II. D. Victoria. Answer D. Victoria. Queen Victoria, whose reign spanned from 1837 to 1901, is synonymous with the Victorian era, a period of industrial, cultural, political, scientific, and military change within the United Kingdom. Question 21. What was the purpose of the Public Health Act of 1848? A. To establish public health care facilities. B. To introduce health insurance. C. To address the sanitary conditions of cities to prevent disease. D. To regulate the food industry. Answer: C. To address the sanitary conditions of cities to prevent disease. The Public Health Act of 1848 was a response to the cholera outbreaks and general unsanitary conditions of urban areas, setting up local boards to ensure proper drainage, sanitation, and water supply. Question 22. What prompted the formation of the Metropolitan Police Service in 1829? A. The need to enforce traffic regulations. B. The increasing crime rate in London. C. A royal decree by Queen Victoria. D. The establishment of the London Underground. Answer: B. The increasing crime rate in London. The formation of the Metropolitan Police Service, initiated by Home Secretary Sir Robert Peel, aimed to establish a professional and organised police force for greater law and order in London. Question 23. Which disease prompted major public health reforms in the mid-19th century? A. Smallpox. B. Cholera. C. Tuberculosis. D. Influenza. Answer: B. Cholera. The cholera epidemics of the 19th century were pivotal in prompting public health reforms, including improvements in water supply, sewage systems, and general sanitation to combat the spread of the disease. Question 24. What was the main goal of the Chartists in the 19th century? A. To gain independence from France. B. To reform the educational system. C. To secure universal male suffrage. D. To abolish the monarchy. Answer: C. To secure universal male suffrage. The Chartists were a working-class movement that aimed to gain political rights and influence for the common man, primarily through advocating for universal male suffrage. Question 25. Why was the Slavery Abolition Act of 1833 significant? A. It abolished slavery throughout the British Empire. B. It established new trade routes. C. It reduced taxes on imported goods. D. It created employment opportunities. Answer: A. It abolished slavery throughout the British Empire. The Slavery Abolition Act of 1833 marked a critical point in British history, formally ending slavery and initiating a program of emancipation throughout the empire. Question 26. Who was the British Prime Minister during the Crimean War? A. Winston Churchill. B. Margaret Thatcher. C. Lord Palmerston. D. Tony Blair. Answer: C. Lord Palmerston. Lord Palmerston was the British Prime Minister during the Crimean War, 1853 to 1856, which was fought against Russia by an alliance of Britain, France, and the Ottoman Empire. Question 27. What was discovered in 1858 that led to major sanitary reforms in London? A. Gold. B. The great stink caused by pollution in the Thames River. C. Oil. D. A new continent. Answer: B. The great stink caused by pollution in the Thames River. The Great Stink of 1858 when the smell of untreated sewage and industrial chemicals overwhelmed London, led to significant investment in London's sewage system. Question 28. What was the main achievement of the Married Women's Property Act 1882? A. It allowed women to vote. B. It granted married women the right to own and control property. C. It required equal pay for women. D. It banned women from working in certain industries. Answer: B. It granted married women the right to own and control property. The Married Women's Property Act 1882 was groundbreaking as it allowed married women in England and Wales to own, manage and control property in their own right. Question 29. How did the Second Reform Act of 1867 expand the electorate? A. By lowering the voting age to 16. B. By granting voting rights to all men and women over the age of 21. C. By extending voting rights to urban working men. D. By eliminating property requirements for all voters. Answer: C. By extending voting rights to urban working men. The Second Reform Act of 1867 significantly widened the franchise, extending the right to vote to many urban working men in England and Wales, thus doubling the electorate. Question 30. What was the main result of the Third Reform Act in 1884 to 85? A. The vote was extended to rural working men, aligning the countryside electorate with that of urban areas. B. Women were allowed to vote for the first time. C. The voting age was reduced to 18 for all citizens. D. Voting became mandatory for all eligible citizens. Answer: A. The vote was extended to rural working men, aligning the countryside electorate with that of urban areas. The Third Reform Act equalized the electorate, giving rural labourers voting rights similar to those urban workers had gained in the earlier reform. Question 31. Describe the circumstances leading to the formation of the Labour Party. A. It was formed to address the lack of representation for the working class in Parliament. B. It was created to support the interests of the aristocracy. C. It was established as a response to a royal decree. D. It originated from a split in the Conservative Party. Answer: A. It was formed to address the lack of representation for the working class in Parliament. The Labour Party was officially founded in 1900, growing out of the trade union movement and socialist parties of the 19th century to better represent the interests and needs of the working class. Question 32. What was the main contribution of the Parliament Act of 1911? A. It abolished the House of Lords. B. It established the Supreme Court. C. It reduced the power of the House of Lords in blocking legislation. D. It created the position of Prime Minister. Answer: C. It reduced the power of the House of Lords in blocking legislation. The Parliament Act of 1911 was a key reform that limited the House of Lords' ability to reject legislation, effectively ensuring that the will of the House of Commons could not be vetoed indefinitely. Question 33. Who was the first woman to be elected to the British Parliament? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. Nancy Astor. C. Emmeline Pankhurst. D. Theresa May. Answer: B. Nancy Astor. Nancy Astor became the first woman to take a seat as a Member of Parliament in 1919, representing the Conservative Party in the House of Commons. Question 34. What was the main consequence of the Representation of the People Act 1918? A. It introduced compulsory voting. B. It granted suffrage to all women over the age of 30. C. It lowered the voting age to 16 for men. D. It allowed non-citizens to vote. Answer: B. It granted suffrage to all women over the age of 30. The Representation of the People Act 1918 significantly expanded the electorate, including giving women aged 30 and over the right to vote, provided they met certain property qualifications. Question 35. What event in 1928 significantly changed the political landscape for women in the UK? A. Women were granted equal voting rights with men, with the voting age lowered to 21 for both sexes. B. Women were allowed to run for the position of Prime Minister. C. The first female mayor was elected. D. The women's liberation movement began. Answer: A. Women were granted equal voting rights with men, with the voting age lowered to 21 for both sexes. The Representation of the People. Equal Franchise Act 1928 granted equal voting rights to women, making them equal to men in terms of voting age and rights. Question 36. What economic event led to the general strike of 1926? A. The collapse of the stock market. B. Widespread unemployment and wage reductions in key industries. C. The imposition of high taxes on the working class. D. A severe nationwide drought. Answer: B. Widespread unemployment and wage reductions in key industries. The general strike of 1926 was primarily triggered by economic hardships, particularly in the mining industry, where workers faced severe wage cuts and worsening conditions. Question 37. What was the purpose of the British Empire Exhibition of 1924? A. To celebrate the end of World War I. B. To boost trade and strengthen economic ties within the British Empire. C. To introduce new agricultural techniques. D. To launch the UK's space programme. Answer: B. To boost trade and strengthen economic ties within the British Empire. Held at Wembley Park, London, the British Empire Exhibition aimed to improve trade, strengthen bonds within the empire, and stimulate production and economic growth. Question 38. During which decade did the UK face the Great Depression? A. 1910s. B. 1920s. C. 1930s. D. 1940s. Answer: C. 1930s. The Great Depression, which began with the Wall Street crash of 1929, deeply affected the UK throughout the 1930s, leading to severe economic downturns and high unemployment. Question 39. How did World War II begin for Britain? A. With the invasion of Poland in 1939. B. With the bombing of London in 1940. C. With the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. D. With the declaration of war on Japan. Answer: A. With the invasion of Poland in 1939, World War II began for Britain when it declared war on Germany on September 3, 1939, following Germany's invasion of Poland. Question 40. What was the main purpose of the Beveridge Report? A. To propose the establishment of the National Health Service. B. To outline reforms to address social inequalities. C. To end rationing post-World War II. D. To recommend stronger military defenses. Answer B. To outline reforms to address social inequalities. The Beveridge Report, published in 1942 by economist William Beveridge, laid the foundations for the modern British welfare state, proposing comprehensive reforms to tackle what Beveridge described as 5 giants on the road of reconstruction: want, disease, ignorance, squalor, and idleness. Question 41. What was the outcome of the 1945 UK general election? A. The Conservative Party won a landslide victory. B. The Labour Party led by Clement Attlee won, leading to major social reforms. C. The Liberal Party regained power after decades. D. The election was postponed due to ongoing war efforts. Answer B. The Labour Party led by Clement Attlee won, leading to major social reforms. The 1945 general election resulted in a surprising landslide victory for the Labour Party, which then implemented foundational changes, including the establishment of the welfare state and the National Health Service. Question 42. Why was the National Health Service created in 1948? A. To provide free healthcare for all citizens funded by taxation. B. To privatize healthcare services previously provided by local councils. C. As a response to the demands of the pharmaceutical industry. D. To comply with World Health Organization regulations. Answer A. To provide free healthcare for all citizens funded by taxation. The National Health Service, NHS, was established in 1948 by the post-war Labour government to ensure that healthcare was available to all, regardless of wealth. Question 43. What major international crisis involved Britain in 1956? A. The Falklands War. B. The Suez Crisis. C. The Berlin Blockade. D. The Cuban Missile Crisis. Answer B. The Suez Crisis. The Suez Crisis of 1956 was a major international incident that involved Britain, France, and Israel making a failed attempt to seize control of the Suez Canal from Egypt, leading to significant political repercussions for Britain. Question 44. What was the Wind of Change speech and who delivered it? A. A speech about global warming given by Tony Blair. B. A declaration of changing economic policies by Margaret Thatcher. C. A speech by Harold Macmillan acknowledging the inevitability of decolonization. D. A World War II victory speech by Winston Churchill. Answer C. A speech by Harold Macmillan acknowledging the inevitability of decolonization. The Wind of Change speech was delivered by Prime Minister Harold Macmillan to the South African Parliament in 1960, signifying Britain's intention to grant independence to its African colonies. Question 45. Describe the significance of Britain's entry into the European Economic Community in 1973. A. It marked the UK's withdrawal from all international trade agreements. B. It was the beginning of the UK's efforts to isolate itself from Europe. C. It represented the UK's commitment to European trade and economic integration. D. It resulted in immediate economic decline. Answer: C. It represented the UK's commitment to European trade and economic integration. Britain's entry into the European Economic Community in 1973 marked a significant shift in economic policy, aligning more closely with Europe to promote trade and economic growth. Question 46. What was the main impact of the Winter of Discontent in 1979? A. It led to the collapse of the British monarchy. B. It resulted in significant improvements in public sector pay and conditions. C. It contributed to the Conservative victory led by Margaret Thatcher. D. It caused Britain to leave the European Economic Community. Answer: C. It contributed to the Conservative victory led by Margaret Thatcher. The Winter of Discontent involved widespread strikes by public sector workers and significantly eroded support for the incumbent Labour government, paving the way for the Conservative victory in the 1979 general election. Question 47. Who became the first female Prime Minister of the UK in 1979? A. Elizabeth II. B. Margaret Thatcher. C. Theresa May. D. Angela Merkel. Answer: B. Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher became the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in 1979, serving until 1990, and was known for her strong conservative policies and significant impact on British politics. Question 48. What was the primary goal of the Falklands War in 1982? A. To gain control of oil reserves in the Falklands. B. To defend the Falkland Islanders' right to self-determination against Argentine invasion. C. To establish a military base in the South Atlantic. D. To test new military technology. Answer: B. To defend the Falkland Islanders' right to self-determination against Argentine invasion. The Falklands War was initiated by Argentina's invasion of the British overseas territory, and the UK's military response was aimed at upholding the islanders' wishes to remain British. Question 49. Describe the main provisions of the Good Friday Agreement of 1998. A. It ended the political conflict in Scotland. B. It was an economic agreement between the UK and the EU. C. It established the euro as the currency of Northern Ireland. D. It helped to end the conflict in Northern Ireland by establishing devolved government and creating new political institutions. Answer: D. It helped to end the conflict in Northern Ireland by establishing devolved government and creating new political institutions. The Good Friday Agreement was a major political development that brought an end to decades of conflict known as the Troubles by setting the framework for peace and power sharing. Question 50. What led to the devolution referendums in Scotland and Wales in the late 1990s? A. Economic downturns that required more localized control. B. Growing demands for national independence. C. Political promises made by the Labour Party to increase regional autonomy. D. Pressure from the European Union. Answer C. Political promises made by the Labour Party to increase regional autonomy. The devolution referendums were part of the Labour Party's commitment to decentralise government powers and provide Scotland and Wales with greater self-governance. Question 51. What is New Labour and who was its leading figure? A. A political movement that aimed to return to traditional socialist values, led by Jeremy Corbyn. B. A reformist faction within the Conservative Party, led by David Cameron. C. A centrist shift in the Labour Party aimed at modernising its policies, led by Tony Blair. D. A radical far-left sect within the Labour Party, without a clear leader. Answer C. A centrist shift in the Labour Party aimed at modernising its policies, led by Tony Blair. New Labour was a transformation within the Labour Party under Tony Blair's leadership, focusing on modernising the party's approach and embracing more centrist policies. Question 52. What event marked the opening of the Scottish Parliament in 1999? A. The signing of the Treaty of Edinburgh. B. The first meeting held in the new Parliament building in Edinburgh. C. A referendum on Scottish independence. D. The dissolution of the UK Parliament. Answer B. The first meeting held in the new Parliament building in Edinburgh. The opening of the Scottish Parliament in 1999 marked a significant change in the UK's constitutional arrangement, reinstating a separate Scottish Parliament after nearly 300 years of unification under the British Parliament. Question 53. What tragic event influenced Britain's domestic and foreign policy in 2001? A. The London bombings. B. The Manchester Arena bombing. C. The September 11 attacks in the United States. D. The start of the Syrian civil war. Answer C. The September 11 attacks in the United States. Although it occurred in the United States, the September 11 attacks had a profound impact on global politics, including the UK's domestic and foreign policies, particularly relating to security, counter-terrorism, and its involvement in subsequent conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq. Question 54. Describe the impact of the 2008 financial crisis on the UK. A. It led to a minor economic downturn with quick recovery. B. It had no significant impact on the UK's economy. C. It triggered a major recession and led to widespread austerity measures. D. It resulted in the UK increasing its EU contributions. Answer C. It triggered a major recession and led to widespread austerity measures. The 2008 global financial crisis severely impacted the UK economy, leading to a significant recession, increases in unemployment, reductions in public spending, and extensive austerity measures to stabilise the national economy. Question 55. What was the main outcome of the 2011 alternative vote referendum? A. The adoption of the alternative vote system. B. The decision to retain the first-past-the-post voting system. C. The establishment of proportional representation. D. No clear outcome, leading to a second referendum. Answer B. The decision to retain the first-past-the-post voting system. The 2011 alternative vote referendum asked UK voters whether they wanted to replace the existing first-past-the-post system with the alternative vote system for elections to the House of Commons. The proposal was rejected, and the first-past-the-post system was retained. Question 56. What was Brexit, and when did the referendum take place? A. Brexit was a policy to integrate more closely with the EU, with a referendum in 2000. B. Brexit refers to the UK's decision to leave the European Union, with a referendum held on June 23, 2016. C. Brexit was a reform movement within the EU, voted on in 2012. D. Brexit was a trade agreement with the United States, ratified in 2015. Answer. B. Brexit refers to the UK's decision to leave the European Union, with a referendum held on June 23, 2016. The referendum resulted in a decision to leave the EU, leading to significant political and economic discussions and negotiations. Question 57. What are the primary functions of the Mayor of London? A. To represent London in international negotiations. B. To oversee the London Stock Exchange. C. To manage London's public transport, housing and environmental planning. D. To serve as the UK's head of state. Answer. C. To manage London's public transport, housing and environmental planning. The Mayor of London has significant responsibilities over transport, housing, planning and development, economic development, and the environment within the Greater London area. Question 58. How does the UK's first-past-the-post system work in general elections? A. Every voter can vote for multiple candidates, and the winner is the one with the most overall votes. B. Voters mark their preferred order of candidates, and votes are redistributed until a candidate wins by majority. C. Each voter casts one vote for a candidate in a single-member district, with the candidate receiving the most votes winning. D. A proportional representation system where parties gain seats based on the percentage of votes they receive. Answer. C. Each voter casts one vote for a candidate in a single-member district, with the candidate receiving the most votes winning. The first-past-the-post system is a straightforward electoral system where the highest polling candidate wins the seat, often criticized for not reflecting proportional representation. Question 59. What is the significance of the Human Rights Act 1998? A. It established the UK's first codified constitution. B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law. C. It created the European Union. D. It deregulated the financial sector. Answer. B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law. The Human Rights Act 1998 is significant as it makes it unlawful for any public body in the UK to act in a way which is incompatible with the rights laid out in the European Convention on Human Rights, effectively bringing those rights into UK law. Question 60. What does the UK's Supreme Court do? A. It deals exclusively with criminal cases. B. It is the final court of appeal in the UK for all civil cases and for criminal cases from England, Wales and Northern Ireland. C. It legislates new laws. D. It elects the Prime Minister. Answer. B. It is the final court of appeal in the UK for all civil cases and for criminal cases from England, Wales and Northern Ireland. The Supreme Court plays a crucial role in the UK legal system by acting as the ultimate arbiter in legal disputes, ensuring laws are interpreted and applied correctly. Question 61. Describe the purpose of the Commonwealth. A. To create a new currency system among member countries. B. To enforce British law in former colonies. C. To foster international cooperation and economic support among member states. D. To expand the British Empire. Answer. C. To foster international cooperation and economic support among member states. The Commonwealth is a political association of 54 member states, mostly former territories of the British Empire, that seeks to promote democracy, human rights, and economic development. Question 62. Who are the Crown dependencies, and what is their relationship with the UK? A. Independent countries that share the British monarch as their head of state. B. Territories that are part of the UK and represented in Parliament. C. Self-governing possessions of the Crown that are not part of the UK. D. EU member states that follow UK laws. Answer. C. Self-governing possessions of the Crown that are not part of the UK. The Crown dependencies, which include the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man, are not part of the United Kingdom, but are self-governing possessions of the British Crown. Question 63. What legal reforms did the Constitutional Reform Act 2005 introduce? A. It abolished the House of Commons. B. It established the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. C. It introduced a new electoral system. D. It declared the UK a republic. Answer. B. It established the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. The Constitutional Reform Act 2005 made significant changes, including establishing the Supreme Court, which took over the appellate jurisdiction previously held by a House of Lords. Question 64. What are select committees, and what role do they play in Parliament? A. Groups of MPs or Lords appointed to consider specific policy issues. B. Committees that select new members of Parliament. C. Judicial bodies that oversee legal disputes in Parliament. D. Diplomatic groups that negotiate treaties. Answer. A. Groups of MPs or Lords appointed to consider specific policy issues. Select committees are small groups formed within the British Parliament to oversee specific departments or issues, holding them to account and examining policy details. Question 65. How does the UK contribute to NATO? A. By providing nuclear defence systems only. B. As a founding member, contributing financially and militarily. C. By offering diplomatic locations for meetings. D. UK is not a member of NATO. Answer. B. As a founding member, contributing financially and militarily. The UK is a founding member of NATO and plays a significant role by contributing both financially and through military capabilities to collective defence efforts. Question 66. What are the primary responsibilities of the Home Secretary in the UK? A. Managing economic policies. B. Overseeing defence strategies. C. Directing internal affairs, such as immigration, security, and policing. D. Regulating education and culture. Answer: C. Directing internal affairs such as immigration, security and policing. The Home Secretary is a key cabinet position in the UK responsible for the internal affairs of England and Wales, particularly public safety and security. Question 67. How is the UK's cabinet formed? A. By direct election from the general public. B. From members of the majority party or coalition in the House of Commons. C. Appointed by the Queen alone. D. Chosen by the House of Lords. Answer: B. From members of the majority party or coalition in the House of Commons. The Prime Minister selects cabinet members primarily from the elected MPs in the governing party or coalition, reflecting the composition of the House of Commons. Question 68. What was the purpose of the Fixed-Term Parliaments Act 2011? A. To dissolve the UK Parliament. B. To set specific dates for general elections every 5 years. C. To extend the term of the Prime Minister indefinitely. D. To reduce the powers of the monarch. Answer: B. To set specific dates for general elections every 5 years. The Fixed-Term Parliaments Act was established to provide more stability and predictability in the timing of general elections, which were previously called at the discretion of the Prime Minister. Question 69. What is the role of the opposition in the UK Parliament? A. To support government policies. B. To provide an alternative government and scrutinise the actions of the government. C. To elect the Prime Minister. D. To appoint judges to the Supreme Court. Answer: B. To provide an alternative government and scrutinise the actions of the government. The official opposition plays a critical role in the UK parliamentary system by scrutinising and challenging the policies of the government, ensuring a balanced and effective democracy. Question 70. Describe the function and significance of the Chancellor of the Exchequer. A. Responsible for national defence. B. The head of the judiciary. C. Oversees the country's financial and economic matters. D. Manages foreign relations. Answer: C. Oversees the country's financial and economic matters. The Chancellor of the Exchequer is a senior position in the UK government responsible for all economic and financial matters, including overseeing the Treasury and setting fiscal policy. Question 71. What was the impact of the UK hosting the 2012 Olympics? A. It led to a decrease in national tourism. B. It significantly increased economic growth and improved infrastructure in London. C. It resulted in the UK leaving the European Union. D. It caused widespread financial crises. Answer: B. It significantly increased economic growth and improved infrastructure in London. Hosting the 2012 Summer Olympics had a positive impact on the UK, particularly in terms of boosting the economy, creating jobs and developing infrastructure, especially in East London. Question 72. What issues are addressed by the UK's anti-terrorism laws? A. Only domestic threats. B. Primarily environmental protests. C. Both domestic and international terrorism threats. D. Economic crimes only. Answer: C. Both domestic and international terrorism threats. The UK's anti-terrorism laws are comprehensive and designed to address all forms of terrorism, both from within and outside the country, ensuring national security. Question 73. How is the UK addressing challenges related to climate change? A. By withdrawing from international environmental agreements. B. Through significant investment in renewable energy and setting ambitious carbon reduction targets. C. Ignoring climate change issues. D. Focusing solely on nuclear energy. Answer: B. Through significant investment in renewable energy and setting ambitious carbon reduction targets. The UK is actively addressing climate change through policies that promote sustainable energy and aim to reduce carbon emissions, including commitments to phasing out coal and expanding renewable energy. Question 74. What is the role of the Bank of England? A. It only prints currency. B. It acts as the government's bank and regulates monetary policy. C. It provides loans to students. D. It manages the UK's foreign reserves only. Answer: B. It acts as the government's bank and regulates monetary policy. The Bank of England serves as the central bank of the UK, responsible for issuing currency, managing the country's gold reserves, and setting monetary policy to maintain financial stability. Question 75. Describe the main goals of UK's foreign policy post-Brexit. A. To isolate the UK from international affairs. B. To strengthen relationships with EU countries only. C. To develop global partnerships and maintain strong ties with the EU. D. To dismantle the Commonwealth. Answer: C. To develop global partnerships and maintain strong ties with the EU. Post-Brexit, the UK's foreign policy focuses on forging new international relationships and trade agreements while maintaining cooperative relations with European Union countries. Question 76. How does the UK government support the arts and culture? A. By banning all foreign films and books. B. Through funding, grants, and public programs for artistic and cultural initiatives. C. By privatizing all cultural institutions. D. The government does not support the arts. Answer: B. Through funding, grants, and public programs for artistic and cultural initiatives. The UK government supports the arts through various funding bodies like the Arts Council, providing financial support to artists, museums, and cultural institutions to promote and preserve the country's rich cultural heritage. Question 77. What are the responsibilities of the Secretary of State for Education? A. To manage the UK's defence strategy. B. To oversee the country's educational standards, policies, and institutions. C. To handle foreign diplomatic relations. D. To oversee healthcare services. Answer: B. To oversee the country's educational standards, policies, and institutions. The Secretary of State for Education is responsible for the development and implementation of policy related to education and children's services in England. Question 78. What significant political event occurred in the UK in June 2016? A. The re-election of Queen Elizabeth II. B. The Brexit referendum, where the UK voted to leave the European Union. C. The adoption of the euro as the national currency. D. The signing of the Magna Carta. Answer B. The Brexit referendum, where the UK voted to leave the European Union. The referendum held on June 23, 2016, resulted in a majority of voters choosing to leave the EU, marking a significant political event with extensive national and international implications. Question 79. How does the UK Parliament ensure governmental accountability? A. Through ceremonial events only. B. By giving the monarch absolute power to dismiss the government. C. Through various mechanisms, including debates, questions, and select committee inquiries. D. The UK Parliament has no role in governmental accountability. Answer C. Through various mechanisms, including debates, questions, and select committee inquiries. The UK Parliament holds the government accountable by scrutinising its actions and decisions, using tools like Prime Minister's questions, debates, and committee investigations to ensure transparency and responsibility. Question 80. What was the main effect of the Scottish independence referendum in 2014? A. Scotland became independent from the UK. B. Scotland voted to remain part of the UK. C. The referendum led to the immediate dissolution of the UK Parliament. D. It triggered the UK's exit from the EU. Answer B. Scotland voted to remain part of the UK. The 2014 Scottish independence referendum resulted in a majority voting against independence, thereby maintaining Scotland's status as part of the United Kingdom. Question 81. How is data protection handled in the UK? A. By ignoring data protection requirements. B. Through the Data Protection Act, which sets the framework for handling personal information. C. By allowing unrestricted data access to all entities. D. Through an agreement with the United States only. Answer B. Through the Data Protection Act, which sets the framework for handling personal information. The UK adheres to strict data protection standards, primarily governed by the Data Protection Act, which ensures that personal data is processed securely and lawfully. Question 82. What is the role of the UK in the United Nations? A. The UK is not a member of the United Nations. B. To provide military forces for all UN operations. C. As a founding member and permanent member of the Security Council, the UK plays a key role in maintaining international peace and security. D. The UK participates only in economic discussions at the UN. Answer C. As a founding member and permanent member of the Security Council, the UK plays a key role in maintaining international peace and security. The UK's involvement in the UN includes participation in peacekeeping missions, humanitarian efforts, and global policy making. Question 83. What are the implications of the UK's nuclear deterrent policy? A. It prohibits the UK from using or possessing nuclear weapons. B. It commits the UK to use nuclear weapons in conflict. C. It maintains nuclear weapons primarily as a deterrent to protect national security. D. It allows for the free distribution of nuclear technology. Answer C. It maintains nuclear weapons primarily as a deterrent to protect national security. The UK's nuclear deterrent policy is designed to prevent attacks by making it clear that the consequences for aggressors would be unacceptable. Question 84. What major legal challenge did the UK face concerning Brexit in 2019? A. Lawsuits over the environmental impact of Brexit. B. Challenges related to the legality of the UK Parliament's prorogation. C. A challenge regarding the UK's ability to host Eurovision. D. Legal disputes over the new UK currency design. Answer B. Challenges related to the legality of the UK Parliament's prorogation. In 2019, the UK Supreme Court ruled that the prorogation of Parliament by Prime Minister Boris Johnson was unlawful, a significant legal event during the Brexit process. Question 85. How does the UK manage its national debt? A. By ceasing all international trade. B. Through fiscal policies including taxation and government spending controlled by the Treasury. C. By printing more currency. D. Through mandatory contributions from all citizens. Answer B. Through fiscal policies including taxation and government spending controlled by the Treasury. The UK manages its national debt through careful fiscal planning, balancing government spending against income primarily from taxes. Question 86. What reforms are associated with the UK's pension system? A. Complete removal of public pensions. B. Shift towards privatisation and providing incentives for private pension savings. C. Assigning pension management to the EU. D. Reducing pension ages drastically. Answer B. Shift towards privatisation and providing incentives for private pension savings. Recent reforms in the UK's pension system have focused on encouraging private pension planning, along with changes to the state pension age and benefits to ensure long-term sustainability. Question 87. What is the significance of the UK's levelling up agenda? A. It focuses on decreasing educational opportunities. B. It aims to improve economic and social equality across different regions of the UK. C. It is about reducing the UK's involvement in international organisations. D. It pertains only to levelling up military defences. Answer B. It aims to improve economic and social equality across different regions of the UK. The Levelling Up agenda is a government initiative aimed at addressing regional disparities and improving opportunities across all parts of the UK. Question 88. How does the UK's digital strategy affect its economy? A. It has isolated the UK from global digital advancements. B. By fostering innovation, supporting digital skills, and enhancing digital infrastructure to boost economic growth. C. By banning all digital products and services. D. It focuses solely on traditional industries. Answer B. By fostering innovation, supporting digital skills, and enhancing digital infrastructure to boost economic growth. The UK's digital strategy aims to capitalise on digital technologies to drive productivity, create jobs, and support economic growth. Question 89. What role does the UK play in global health initiatives? A. The UK restricts any participation in global health programmes. B. As a leading donor and participant, the UK supports worldwide health improvement and disease prevention efforts. C. The UK only focuses on health within its borders. D. It opposes any form of international health aid. Answer B. As a leading donor and participant, the UK supports worldwide health improvement and disease prevention efforts. The UK plays a significant role in global health through funding, research, and policy leadership, particularly in tackling infectious diseases and improving health systems worldwide. Question 90. Describe the impact of the gig economy on UK employment laws. A. It has led to a stricter regulation of permanent employment contracts. B. The gig economy has challenged traditional employment models, prompting debates and reforms related to workers' rights and benefits. C. It has eliminated all freelance and contract work in the UK. D. It has had no impact on UK employment laws. Answer B. The gig economy has challenged traditional employment models, prompting debates and reforms related to workers' rights and benefits. The rise of gig work has led to discussions about the nature of employment and the need for legal frameworks that ensure fair treatment and adequate protection for gig workers.